Greetings, Immortals. This is Lux Dietine and...
Tenebrous Dietine.
Yeah, Tenebrous Dietine. So, today, still working on the background. We'll get to the stories later, but there's still some background that we have to clear up. So, the Prime Material Realm. It's the first realm that was... the first material realm that was ever created, and the closest material realm to the Mana Well. This realm was created by Celestials. By the way, you will quickly come to hate the Celestials, because this realm was created by the Celestials to gain more land, therefore more power, blah 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 blah. It was created by the Celestials with, by channeling mana,
Obviously.
and with the blood of Infernals.
Not obviously.
Because, essentially they think they're better than the Infernals, and they think the Infernals are simply objects. Or, I guess they treat them less as objects and more as a scourge that needs to be wiped from the earth. Or, I guess, the multiverse. So...
They don't have an earth.
The Celestials created the Prime Material Realm using the mana and channeling it into the blood of the Infernals, which created the Prime Material Realm. And this realm, for a long time, was inhabited by Celestials. And then evolution took its course, and eventually creatures started to pop up. And keep in mind, there was still a high mana content on this world. So it evolved faster and different. Namely, creatures... if in a creature... I'm gonna just mention the difference in humans, which was, simply put, their souls had the unique ability, because infernal and celestial souls have the ability to manipulate mana around them. However, mortal souls, human souls, were able to store and release mana, pretty much like a mana battery. And this just allowed them... Celestials, essentially, this planet suddenly became much, much more valuable because Celestials could use these souls to... or Celestials or Infernals, but typically Celestials, since they inhabited the planet, Celestials could use it to store mana and to power more powerful attacks. So yeah, this realm quickly became very valuable. The Infernals started to try to take control of it, because they knew if they didn't, they would probably very quickly be wiped off of existence.
That is not good.
No, it is not good. But in the Celestials' eyes, it would be. And the mortals, obviously, didn't really care for their people being murdered to be used in Star Wars, but multiverse this time. And also more of a fantasy than sci-fi. That was a bad analogy. But they weren't very akin to this. And eventually... So I want to make this clear that the the mortals were kept, a good amount of them were kept in captivity, and they were treated well, up until the point where they were slaughtered, but they were treated well.
Oh, okay.
Well, they needed to get the souls, so they just killed them and took the souls out of them.
Yeah.
So they were treated well up until the point where they were slaughtered. And... again, they were clothed, they were treated well, they were fed, they were cleansed. I mean, decent food, nothing, like, amazing, but, like, it's not, like, gourmet Gordon Ramsay food, but it's...
Why not?
Because they didn't care that much. They just wanted their soul. They don't care if your soul's happy or not, they just want it.
It was a little sidetracked there, but shh.
So then eventually humans started to... They didn't really rebel, because the people in captivity weren't going to rebel. But, as I said, most of the mortals were kept in captivity. So the ones that were not,
Why'd you laugh at that?
I don't know, the ones that weren't started to raid celestial camps and free
Good job.
and free other mortals. Yeah, eventually, by the way, the reason they were able to free other mortals, there were still very, very many casualties, but their ability to store and release mana allowed them to, gather a lot of mana, and then just shoot off these incredibly powerful attacks made of pure condensed mana.
Oh, this is so funny.
And while the Celestials were there, the mana count was higher than usual because they would bring mana with them, both by it just clinging to them and sometimes probably using some runes to trap it and then release it on Earth to make the mana count higher so that they would be more powerful, so that they could still spellcast. However, this also made the mortals more powerful because essentially they didn't have to. They could just absorb mana and launch it. They didn't have to worry about how much mana was in the air. So, yeah, eventually the Immortals, they kept fighting back, and the Celestials got tired of this, and they sent one of their, I guess you could call it a starship. It's not a sci-fi thing. It's essentially
Big giant ball in the sky.
no, it's
Big giant thing in the sky.
it's not in the sky. It's in the interdimensional space.
Well, close enough.
So, yeah, I actually don't know what it would look like, but
We'll find out later. Well, not later, eventually.
but yeah, they probably sent this to the material realm with a bunch of soldiers and tried to get the mortals back into line, and a lot of them did. A lot of them escaped, and the Celestials kept looking for them to no avail. What they were doing is practicing their casting abilities, making themselves more powerful, and training for the day that they would free their brethren. That day eventually did come, and they fought back the Celestials, and eventually claimed the Prime Realm as their own. Then these same people formed trying to think. They formed essentially a defense council, I guess, and they would defend their realm from Celestials and eventually Infernals, because both Celestials and Infernals would be trying to take over this realm almost constantly. And the Mortals, with their very, very powerful spellcasting abilities, are able to fend them off. Yeah, I guess that's the basics. So